Oldsmobile, which was a former car division of GM, produced its share of legendary cars for a little over a century. It began as a small car company in 1897 and soon grew to one of the most formidable automobile brands in the world. Unfortunately, the Oldsmobile story ended when GM permanently shut down Oldsmobile operations in 2004. For American performance car traditionalists, Oldsmobile was gone many years before 2004. Oldsmobile's fine tradition of producing a true traditional American performance car had ended when the 1987 model year ended. This is when its V8-powered, rear-wheel drive muscle car, the 442, was permanently canceled. The 442 name would return again for the 1990 to 1991 model year, when it was given to a front-wheel drive compact Oldsmobile powered by a dual overhead cam four-cylinder engine. The 442 was Oldsmobile's top muscle car for many years. It was a fierce competitor and was powered by some of Oldsmobile's best high-performance V8 engines during the golden era. After an absence of several years, the Oldsmobile 442 was back on track, starting in 1985. It had the two-door Oldsmobile Cutlass's extremely popular exterior styling, which consisted of a longer hood, short deck lid, and a formal roofline. From 1978 to 1983, the Cutlass had been the best-selling car in America for 5 out of 6 years. The 1985 to 1986 442 had the two-door Cutlass's very popular concave dual front grille design, which was surrounded by 4 square headlights. For 1986, the grille pattern changed. For 1987, the two-door Cutlass and 442 received a front-end update with modern flush headlights and dual flat grilles, which on the 442 were colored black, giving the 1987 442 a more attractive and modern look. It also had a modern version of Oldsmobile's vertical taillights. Even though the 442 with its two-door Cutlass styling by 1985 to 1987 had become dated, it still appeared modern and very sporty. Additionally, with the 1985 to 1987 442's few exterior color choices, two-tone color scheme, and gold accents and decals, it looked the part of a modern 1980s muscle car. Ironically, the 442 didn't follow the trend of performance cars of this era, which had blacked-out trim and or body-colored trim. The 442 did have some black trim pieces, but still kept a lot of the two-door Cutlass Salon's chrome trim. Essentially, the 442 was a Cutlass Salon with the W42 option package added. The 442 even kept the Salon's luxury hood ornament. This was Oldsmobile's way of reminding buyers its performance car was indeed a real Oldsmobile. The interior was 100% Oldsmobile. It was sporty yet luxurious for a muscle car. There were plenty of options available, including removable T-top roof panels and a high-end stereo system. The interior was one of the classiest you were going to find in a 1980s American performance car, and the attractive instrument cluster with round rally gauges was a nice added bonus, which was a standard feature. The 442 was just the type of performance car that you wanted to take on long trips due to its very comfortable cloth seating for 5 people and its plentiful trunk space. Oldsmobile had teamed up with Hurst Performance for 1983 and 1984 to build the low-production Hurst Olds, which was also based on the two-door Cutlass Salon. It had a flashy exterior paint scheme, a different one for each model year, a stylish rear wing spoiler, a hood scoop, and a racing-style Hurst Lightning Rod's automatic transmission gear changer. It was this successful return of the Hurst Olds for 1983 to 1984 that forced Oldsmobile to revive the 442 again, starting in 1985 to replace the Hurst Olds. The 1983 to 1984 Hurst Olds was powered by Oldsmobile's high-output version of its 5.0-liter 307 cubic inch V8, which produced 180 horsepower and 245 pound-feet of torque. It had a Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor, just like the golden era Oldsmobile muscle cars, except it was computer-controlled. This engine carried over to the 1985 442 unchanged with the same horsepower and torque figures. However, during the middle of the 1985 model year, the 5.0-liter HOV8 received a roller cam and new heads in order to improve emissions and fuel efficiency. Unfortunately, horsepower dropped to 170, but torque increased to 250 pound-feet, and it would also power the 1986 to 1987 442. However, there are rumors that Oldsmobile also produced this engine with the roller cam and older style heads in late 1985 and possibly into the 1986 model year. This would explain why Oldsmobile gave the 1986 442 a 180 horsepower rating, just like the 1985 442. The 1985 to 1987 442 was mandatory with a 4-speed automatic transmission, a performance-oriented 3-7-3 rear axle ratio, and a fantastic sounding free-flow dual resonator exhaust system. The 1985 to 1987 442 went 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 9.0 seconds. This was quick for its day and quick enough to give honor to the 442 name. Oldsmobile with the 442 offered the handling, steering, and braking that 1980s performance car customers wanted. Unfortunately, where the 442 fell short was it didn't have a four-wheel disc brake option, fuel injection, and at least 200 horsepower. However, what the 442 had was enough to make it a serious traditional muscle car during the 1980s decade. It would be the last traditional V8-powered muscle car that Oldsmobile offered to its customers. Someday, the car collector community will discover how special the 1985 to 1987 Oldsmobile 442 is, and prices will skyrocket. Until then, the 1985 to 1987 442 remains a bargain for anyone wanting a fun-to-drive traditional muscle car from the 1980s. After all, subjectively, it was the last of the great Oldsmobiles. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Please subscribe since your support is the reason this channel is a success. And please make sure to click on the bell icon so that you never miss a new video release.